Today we are going to be engineers, not farmers. Farming engineers, is that a thing? I think I'm going to start a course called Farming Engineers because we are going to be creating feeders for chickens using poly pipes that are just stray on the farmyard. Because why? Our current feeders are losing a lot of feed on the ground. So what we are going to be using, please don't judge us. Do you see this? This used to be gutters for the collection of urine for rabbits. This is what we're going to use. Very dirty and it looks useless. So I hope the lesson here is you try to use all the resources at your farm to repurpose them and make them work for anything. So let's go to the engineering part. What are we going to do? What we want to do, we actually saw online. We are going to create something like this, right? We cut it to size. When we cut it to size, we try to add something that blocks this side and something that blocks this side. And it just rests like that on the edge of the foreign cage. So it will look like something like this. Like this, and the chicken will be inside. So all it does is just pick its head through and try to eat from there. That's the basic plan. So what are we going to use? Because we have limited resources, we are going to be cutting our poly pipe using the saw. This is what we're going to be using to cut our poly pipes, and we're actually cutting it here. Unfortunately, the cutting has been done. You know, when you get really busy, you don't think about recording. So the pipes, after cutting, we are going to cleaning them. This is where we are cleaning them. Right here. Right here. Do you remember that dirty pipe? Let me show you. This is the cleaned one. Can you see how clean it is now? I think we should open a company for cleaning services because this is too clean. Let me show you what it used to look like and what it looks like now. This is what it used to look like. Right? And this is what it looks like now. That is the first stage. So this has been cut to size. And now the other problem is we need to close these sides. These ends, we need to close them. There, what are we using? We are using, we had these plastic boards that we had from our previous project when we were constructing Fora. So we are just cutting them to size using, we'll bend this steel until it's very hot. And then we just use it to cut like that. Can you see it cutting there? Like that. And it's cut. So that's what we will be using to cut to size. And what we will be using to cut, you will be using that to create something like this. These are the ends that will be closing. Yeah. So when it rests, it's going to look like this. So yes guys, this is what we're going to be doing today. We'll be engineer farmers, so we'll keep you updated on the progress of the construction of our feeders. Wish us luck and stay tuned for the progress. Thank you. Okay, the work is going on. Everything is going on. The engineers are making the feeders. Okay. Do you see how much land we are not utilizing? Yes. all that land is not being utilized. We need to improve. We need to be serious. You know, the challenging thing about this whole thing is it's very, very, what can I say? It's not a lot of work, but there's a lot of nitties and gritties in the making of this thing. So it's taking a lot of time than we anticipated. It's almost like 3 hours at this, and we are nowhere close to done. We are very, very far. So yay, I don't know if we're going to finish doing making all the feeders today, but definitely what we have to do is to make sure that all the cages with birds, they get these amazing feeders today. That is okay. So our feeders are now complete. We have now renovated the feeders. We moved from using rabbit feeders, which are diesel. And as you can see, there was a lot of feed on the ground. Can you see? There is the feeder, and there is a lot of feed, a lot of droppings there on the ground. So that's what we were trying to correct, because we can't lose the feed. You can imagine giving chickens the right amount of feed, but then still they don't grow, and then you realize the problem is they were losing all that feed to the ground. They were not having all that feed sufficiently. So this, as you can see, they can only use the head. They don't get to litter the fowl unnecessarily. All the feed is going to use. I'm sure you can see now that they themselves are enjoying having the feed. And I will simply say it was a very straining process to make this, but it was very, very, very worth it. Look at that rooster there, enjoying its feed with its females in there. And here we have the black ocelots, very, very healthy birds, very, very good egg layers. And you can see that they are having their feed without a problem. Look at it down there. Look at it down there. They are feeding properly without a problem. And no feed is going to waste. No feed is going to waste down there. Everything is going exactly to the chicken, which is one of the problems that a farmer can face at your fowl run. You realize that you might give your chicken all the feed that you can produce, that you can have access to, but they will not eat. Why? Enough, because they are just wasting most of the feed to the ground. Because these types of chickens, they like to eat and use their feet to scratch around the food. I can't find the proper word, but they are not good eaters. They are very clumsy eaters. All chicken are naturally clumsy eaters. They waste feed around. They love to look for things. Even when there is enough feed, they just want to waste it away. So this is what we were correcting here, and you can see the feeders are okay. The portion is actually having good food. Look at it again here. All this feed has gone to waste. All of it is gone to waste. Why? Because the rabbit feeders that we tried to use in the first place, they were not the most sufficient. So that is also another lesson for you guys. Even when you make improvements to your fowl runs, you need to go back and see whether it was working, with the limitations of your renovations, where you need to improve, stuff like that. You know, we also can see that there is here we don't have a problem of droppings on the ground, but at the bottom there you can see that we have a problem of droppings there. So we have to check whether the cost of creating a collector down there is worth the investment, or we just have to clean it up ourselves. At the moment, we'll clean it up ourselves, but in due time, you realize that we want to put a collector for the waste somewhere down here. so that all this waste doesn't litter our room. Remember, all the waste is what we will call flies. It will cause a lot of unhealthy challenges in our fowl. So yeah, what we also are discovering is this is our next problem. This is supposed to be one of the developments that we would have made for our nest boxes. It's supposed to be in there. Right in there. But our chickens, it seems, either they are not used to using this or they just don't like using it. Because before they were laying on the ground. So we will try to make all the renovations that are necessary to make sure our fowl run is always in best shape. And also the other reality is, do not be a perfectionist. Don't try to make it perfect. Only make the changes that are necessary. But when you see that this is a problem that is not very big and it doesn't really need too much of your attention or it's too expensive, you can ignore some of these, because your other problem is making sure that you are always within the budget and your renovations remain within your budget. So yes, that is all we have for you, and yeah, we'll come back with an update on how the feeders are doing in due time, how the cages are doing. As you can see here, we don't use no wood shavings. Our droppings go straight to the ground, right? We'll come back with the feedback to you guys and tell you how these are doing as compared to those floors that need wood shaving. We'll come back to you whether it has its limitations to the chickens. We'll come back to you with everything. And we'll also come back to you with the progress check. As you can see, we told you the cochin, which is that bed, this one here. It has grown immensely. This bed has grown so much that we can safely say this is the most improved bed. Yeah. Right? But we'll come back with more progress checks. We'll continue to weigh our chickens and see if we are doing the right thing. We'll come back to you guys with our hatch rate to see whether we have improved in hatch rate. And yeah, stuff like that. We'll always be updating you guys. So please, don't forget to comment, share, like, subscribe, sing for us, support us, everything. We'll always keep you updated. Thank you guys. Thank you.